Welcome everyone, I'm Ruben, your host for the Think Global mini-series. Now, we know that one of the main barriers to preventing companies from successful international expansion is a lack of insights and local information. Well, that's what Think Global's all about, providing you with the tools and the insights to overcome that barrier and achieve global success. Now, in episode 1, we looked at where the pockets of growth are in the world. Now, it's time to think about operational efficiency. Now, a little bit later on, we'll be joined by John Ferguson from Economist Impact, who'll take us through some of the latest research, including our exciting new interactive map with the best practices from successful businesses. However, to kick off this episode 2, and to help us maximise the profitability of our international campaigns, I'm going to hand over to Rafa Bustamante. Rafa.
Thank you, Ruben, and hi everyone. My name is Rafa, and I am responsible for our international growth marketing efforts here at Google, where I have been leading Think Global for the last 3 years. This year, in particular, there seems to be a lot of focus on profitability. With the global macroeconomic landscape experiencing high volatility, customers across the globe are seeking the best value for money. Meanwhile, companies are strategizing for ways to secure a high return on their investments. And we're here at Think Global because we all know that exporting and reaching international customers is a great way to unlock that profitability. Now, before we begin, I want you to think about your latest profitability exercise. Have you done one recently? Are you evaluating campaign by campaign or perhaps market by market? Keep that simple in mind throughout this episode, as we're going to discover ways to improve it with a little help from Google's artificial intelligence. First, we need to understand where profits come from. Put it simple. Profit is the value of international purchases minus your marketing investments and costs. To help you become more profitable, I'm going to focus on how to increase your conversion value and how to maximize your marketing investments across all markets you are operating within. There are 3 steps to achieve this. First step is to think broadly. Next step is to differentiate yourself by value and by behavioral cues. And last step is to track the metrics that matter. Let's start with step 1. International e-commerce is forecast to grow by over 10% in 2023. This is great news. It means more access to global customers and more demand for your business. However, not all regions are going to provide you with the same high value. The US and the big 5 European markets hold the most interest for the companies we work with. Now we're going to sit down with John from Economist Impact in the next section to discuss about the local nuances about these regions. But it's clear that both markets are vastly populated and they have a huge online potential. So when it comes to recharging your marketing investments, the first step is to think broadly and to think about reaching all your addressable population in those markets. Reach and visibility are key, and we have the data to back it up. At Google, we developed the Decoding Decisions research, which looks at the factors that make shoppers across the globe decide what and from whom to purchase. And we discovered that just by showing up when and where people are searching, you can switch brand preference and retail brand preference between 25 and 47%. Also, we know that 50% of international shoppers use search engines followed by social media platforms such as YouTube to discover new brands and stores. This is a very strong finding. If you are not visible, you risk not being considered, or even worse, you are giving room for competitors to convince international shoppers to move away from your brand or retailer. But it's not simply about visibility. It's also about reaching international customers in as many shopping situations as possible. But shoppers worldwide are more unpredictable than ever, and their searches are becoming more and more complex. This means that bidding to exact matches might not bring you the best results. So to supercharge these results, the best way you can show up is by leveraging our new artificial intelligence solution, Broadmatch. Broadmatch takes your keywords, understands the meaning behind them and the user share queries, and uses them to expand the coverage of the situations in which shoppers might be looking for what you're offering. Advertisers who upgrade from Exact Match to Broadmatch in campaigns that use a target cost per acquisition see a 35% more conversions on average. Take, for example, Best Buy. They are a multinational consumer electronics retailer. Their team had been using AI applications in other parts of their businesses, but they also wanted to respond to the changing in business landscape and the new consumer expectations, so they decided to test two of our Google's artificial intelligence products, Performance Max and Broadmatch. Their extensive testing found that Performance Max helped Best Buy increase return on ad spend by 33%, while Broadmatch boosted its omnichannel revenue by 42%. This example shows the impact that being broad in your communications has on your profitability equation and how easily we can influence it with some help from Google. Step 1 was about being broad with your marketing message. Now step 2 is all about that message and the shopping funnel. When you combine showing up broadly with clearly communicating the value and benefits of your products, your results get even a bigger boost. Many international businesses choose to lead with deals and discounts, but that is not the best way to achieve profitability, is it? So what are the other drivers of purchase, and how important is each one to the purchase decision? Again, in the coding decisions, we found that even low price is a great contributor to decision-making. Half of that decision-making process is driven by finding the ideal product. And this half can be influenced by a combination of behavioral factors, from easy delivery to free samples or free delivery, social endorsements, or high reviews. For example, 75% of holiday shoppers across survey countries say that they will shop with stores that offer free shipping. Meanwhile, 73% of consumers would continue buying from companies that increase their prices as long as they feel valued. All of this is very relevant for the profitability equation. In this particular finding, we see how applying behavioral cues can be as effective as a 10% discount without compromising your margins. So it's clear that if you show up and differentiate yourself by offering and using behavioral cues, you can actually convince international shoppers to choose you. It's a matter of moving from awareness to action. And the good news today is that thanks to artificial intelligence, you can do that very easily in the same campaign. I see driving awareness as striking the balance between art and science. With video-rich campaigns, you bring the art, giving the creatives and the audience strategy, and Google AI brings the science by optimizing your YouTube campaign to deliver awareness in the most efficient way. Then, when you are ready to drive action, you can use video action campaigns. They are powered by Google's artificial intelligence, and they optimize the targeting, which serves your ad to the audience that is ready to convert in the right country, in the right screen, and at the right moment. Video action campaign ads that use this optimized targeting see 20% more conversions in average. And it also reformats your videos from horizontal to vertical, so you can reach viewers on YouTube Shorts, which has now surpassed 50 billion daily views globally. This approach has been very successful for international brands like Adidas. They were launching a new range of trainers in South America, so they wanted to drive awareness at the same time as sales. They decided to use video to do so. With video-rich campaigns, they created the expectation and brand awareness using longer video formats. And then, once they had generated the interest and brand awareness, with video for action, they captured that sales generated by brand awareness. In total, 60% of their conversions were assisted by video campaign on YouTube. As I mentioned earlier, profit can be calculated as the value of your conversion or purchase minus marketing investments and cost. In the first two steps, we talked about gaining marketing efficiency, and we're going to be discussing operations with John from Economics Impact. So I really wanted to focus step 3 on conversion value. Really don't underestimate this one. Many of us tend to ignore when we think about profitability, and we go directly into fixing the pipes. But there are really quick actions you can take to increase value and thus up-level your profits. And this is especially true when you think about different opportunities to achieve this across markets. Take US, for example. Offering free delivery at a threshold is the most influential factor in increasing basket size, while showcasing top-rated products can increase the average order value. When it comes to driving global profitable growth, customer lifetime value is a metric that can no longer be ignored. It measures the total value received from a single customer over the entire business relationship. So it's a great metric to understand how to get the most valuable customers. The primary source of data for your customer lifetime value models is your own company's marketing data. So first, you'll need to start advertising a new market for long enough to gather substantial data points and sales volume. Depending on your industry, aim to have at least 50 conversions per product before you progress through this journey. Once you have those conversions in the new market, you should optimize for conversion value by finding the products or services with the highest margin. This will equip you to maximize that profit strategy. Lifetime value comes at the end of this journey. Once you have identified your highest margin products, you should match them to the type of buyers who purchase them. After you have segmented your base on margins and on audience, you can set logics of investment based on a lower ROAS and uncapped budgets. The right ROAS target acts as an insurance policy against wasteful spend. So think broadly and don't limit the volume because you are hitting the right target by selling more of your most profitable products. And as we have seen, PMax and the rest of our artificial intelligence solutions can help you with this. This way, and back to the profit equation, lifetime value allows you to grow the conversion or purchase value from your global markets. You can use smart bidding solutions to help you bid efficiently across your segments. And then being broad and present with your messaging anchored in behavioral cues allows you to maximize the return of your marketing investments. Here, Broadmatch, PMax, and our video solutions will allow you to supercharge the funnel conversion. If you rely on these Google AI-powered solutions that I've just introduced here, you will see how you can accelerate this process. Now, for global companies, the opportunities to recharge your results and optimize for profitability are huge. And they are bigger than for non-global companies. So now think about all the opportunities you have to optimize your operations across markets, finding efficiencies with partners, or even future-proof your supply chain.